In this video, we'll talk about how once you have imported the HDRI Sky. I think in the previous video we have done that, and once you have imported that one into your model, and how the lights will change and how you can change settings in your environment panel with related to the all the lighting. So in order to achieve a realism in your image, so how the settings will work, and what are the things you can be work on to achieve realism. So the first one is actually now that in previous video we have imported a HDRI Sky. So once you have imported in here, your image will be changed as per the imported HDRI. So usually you are having a menu like this, the light and the rotation. That means that you can rotate the HDRI Sky and you can control the light here. But if you just press this one, you will be able to achieve some more settings. That's the first one is called the skylight. The skylight means the amount of light that will enter into your room. So now if you just go inside my model here, now if you control the skylight here, you can see from here. Now if you increase it, you will be seeing the brighter the light. So you will see a more brighter, because in this video, in this the image, you will not see much, but once you have rendered the image or a video, you will find plenty of light has been increased because you have increased the skylight to 1. So usually I'm keeping it a bit low here because we are using some artificial lighting as well, not only the HDRI the lightings. And here you have another option called the background. Background means you are the background, how much bright it will be. So usually once you have the imported HDRI, now let's see from here. Now if you just increase the, now you can see the HDRI sky has been brightened up. So usually you will keep it low, because as per your requirement, as per your the settings, what you have to do is you have to adjust it by thinking about your model. So usually I'm keeping it low like this, because once you have brightened, it will have some unrealistic kind of a feeling for the image. So I'll keep it as it is. Now again, if you just move inside, so I need to show another thing. So in here you have the sun effect. So usually when you have sun effect here, because these are the now I'm enabling my sun effect. Now let's see what are the difference between with sun or without sun. Now once you have applied that one, you can see my sun shadows has been appeared in my model. So usually with the enabling the sun option, you will be getting the sunlight intensity, sunlight radius. So what these settings do is actually, so usually now you can see this shadow here. This shadow is generated from this window here. Now if you just increase the sunlight intensity, now you can see the shadow has been brightened, all the light has been brightened. But remember, in order to achieve a realistic image, you need to control your sun intensity with the sunlight radius. So usually if you keep increasing the sunlight radius, you will see one, I'll decrease it as possible, because now you can see very sharp edges. So usually in practical life, in real life scenarios, you won't get this much of a sharp here. So if you just increase the sunlight radius, you can have some blurry effect on this shadow area. Now you can see that blurry effect. So now you increase it, it like disperse among the all the other areas. So that's what we need to achieve the realistic image. So I'll keep it as this amount, because it look more realistic rather than having very sharp edges. So that's the thing. So you need to understand about it, and you will be able to change the color temperature. That means the color, whether it's warmer, whether it's the daylight, or maybe cooler. So you will be able to change, but usually I'll go with the 6500, and it will give you some cozy warmer light pattern here. Okay, now hope you're clear about that. Now we'll move on to another section that is actually we need to, in order to have a more stylish or maybe realistic, we need to have the artificial lighting. So usually when you are placing artificial lighting, the first thumb rule will be, say that now you have this kind of a area of a window. Now the rule will be you need to apply a rectangular light similar to this size, because it will gives as a sun effect, artificial sun effect, sunlight will comes into the the inside of my the model. So and it will give so more realistic view, or maybe the realistic the image kind of a thing. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to apply some add light here, and I'll just go with the rectangular light and I'm going to apply it. Okay, now this is my rectangular light. Now what I'm going to do is I'll just make it bit backward, and now I'm turning it to like 90 degrees. Now this is my light actually. Now you can hope you can see here. Now I'll place it like here, and I'll just increase the size here. Okay, I'll just increase the size bit here. Okay, now it seems symmetrical. Otherwise you will be you can use the wireframe, and you can use the clay and the and those things as well. So again, now what I'm going to do is I'll just increase the size of the my light here. Okay, now you can see I'll just untick and I'll increase it. No, I'll take 2000. Okay, it's pretty large for me, but there should be a distance. Now I'm gonna untick this one, and then I'll just increase 2800. Okay, now I'll just decrease the 1500. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Now you can see my lighting has been covered the whole area, but I'll just make it more bit down. Yeah, that's fine now. So about this light, the settings here, I'll decrease my intensity up to now 3 here. Now we'll talk about the barn angle and the the barn door length. So in order to understand about that, so I'll go back to the environment, and I'll make it the night sky here. Now we'll use this area. Now I'm gonna create another rectangle here. Now you can see from here what I'm doing is I'm gonna turn up this sorry. Okay, 90 degrees, that's okay. Now I'll make it a bit smaller here. Okay, and I'll make it a bit closer here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'll just decrease the intensity for 3. Okay, okay. Or otherwise I'll make it maybe 10 here in order to see the light here. Now you can see my barn door angle is a bit high here. Now what I'm gonna do is the barn door length. So that means if you have larger values, that means you have more focus. So these are interconnected. So I'm gonna increase the barn door angle here, barn door length here. Okay, it's a bit far from the the object. Now you can see. Okay, okay. I'll just increase it, keep increasing it. Now I'm gonna decrease the barn door angle and see what will happen. So it has more focus rather than the larger value. And see, a more focus. If you just move closely here, you will get a pretty sharp edges, because you have a less barn door angle. So if you increase it, you will see this is the the angle has been increasing. So again, if you just it has a the interconnection between the barn door length. So you can see it will as a typical rectangular light. So again, if you just increase it, it will has more focus, and it will be very easy for the barn door angles as well. So again, you have a sharp one, you have a large area, and you have more focus here. I mean, less focus here. If you increase it, the band or length, you have more focus. Okay, hope you are clear about it. So similarly, I mean, you need to apply that settings to your artificial lighting. So again, I'll just go back here and I'll use the HDRI sky. So what I'm gonna do is usually maybe just click this one. Now I can see my Bandu angle being 88. So usually what I'm gonna do is I'll just decrease it to be more focused, maybe 11 or maybe the 15. And even though, I mean, you will be not seeing this, the settings which I'm gonna apply now, but it will affect the final image. These are the settings. I mean, the settings which I'm using is I have achieved by doing a lot of trial and error. So I believe that it will be and it can be used for your model as well. So the Bandu length, I'm going to increase it. Now you can see the yellow lines have been increasing. That means your light focus on more here. So we are clear about it. So now let's talk about the attenuation radius here. So usually it's better to keep, maybe 60,000 or maybe any other larger than that. Means the, the what do you call the, and again, just have a remember the attenuation radius and the intensity is only applying, only will be able to apply the strip light and the rectangular light. So the attenuation, the mean, that is the impact of the light. So usually you have a pretty large radius. That means your whole model will be getting, some benefits from that. So lesser means you will, if you just increase, you can see your impact of the light, it will be very less. But I know you need to have more, so I'll just increase it up to 60,000 or more. So now you will be, whole area can be covered through the attenuation radius. And the attenuation intensity means that what do you call the, it will control the light attenuation distance similar to the the attenuation radius, but it will decide the distance between the light object and your model, and it will adjust the illumination range of rectangular light. Okay, I hope you're clear about it. So what I'm going to do is I'll just increase it a bit, not a large amount, because otherwise your model will be overexposed. Now I'm going to delete this one. So I'll click this one. Now you can see my model has been, all the artificial light settings has been updated. Now here you have another option called show light shape. So if you, in order to show the light shape, so you can enable it, but I don't need that kind of a effect, because I'm using this as an artificial lighting for a sun, so I don't need that one. And again, there's another option called the visible in reflection. That means if you have a reflective object or a surface, this will control how the reflection works. Say suppose that you have a the glass vase or something. So if you just enable this one, sure, your artificial lighting will act on the surface of the the glass vase, and it will reflect it. So you can control it, because usually I'm gonna apply this setting because it will give you more realism rather than having nothing here. So hope you're clear about it. And this is the final setting, that is called the temperature and the color. Usually I'm keeping as a warm as it is, like 6,500. And here you will be able to use some color settings as well if you need the coloring. And here you have the caustics. We have a separate session video for the caustics, and caustic will give the natural the shadowing effect. Then now if you have this kind of a, say suppose that you have a water, now the caustics will the reflect or bend the the light rays and see how the shadows work. So usually if you enable it, it can be apply when you have a the water kind of a surface here, but here you don't have, so I'm not gonna apply this one. So hope you're clear about it. You can have another here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll just click shift button here, and now I'm gonna, okay, sorry, I have to control here. Okay, now sorry. Now I'm gonna press shift here, and I'm gonna copy my light settings to here, because now what I did was I actually copied the same light source to this window as well. So it's pretty easy if you have these settings once for a while, and you can apply that to all of the model. Okay,